This is the Game 10 press conference featuring the Ducks of University of Oregon. We're joined by head coach Mike White and student athletes Jenna Lilly, Shannon Rhodes, Gwen Savekis, Miranda Elish, and Megan Kleist. Coach White, understanding certainly that you're very proud of this team, and I know that when you came here, you probably felt that if you played Oregon softball, you would have a chance to compete for a national championship. Can you talk about just how difficult it is to win games here and how well you have to play in all three phases of the game?
It's a good question. It's absolutely true. I mentioned to the team we're hoping that the Pac-12 wins this week, and if that happens, I think being the Pac-12 champions and having beaten those teams over the course of a season shows how good our team really can be when we play Oregon softball, like you mentioned. But unfortunately, this week, we weren't at our best, and I'm getting tired of making that speech. And we're working hard to try and find that secret of what it takes to bust through that door, because we certainly have the ability to do better than what we're doing right now, and that's what hurts. I think that's what hurts these young ladies, is that if we had played up to our caliber and we got beat, so be it. But to kind of feel like you didn't quite get it done to our abilities, that's the tough thing to go. But I want to congratulate Florida State on making it through to the next round, being a quarterfinalist. They're a class group. They play well. They're fighting hard. As like I told my team, we gave ourselves an opportunity to tie that game up, and that's all I can ask of them. We fought hard at the end, just came up a little bit too short. But I'm extremely proud of this team. I'm proud of these four seniors that came into our program, 3 with our program for 4 years. They left our program better than when they came in. And I think that's important, not only on the field but off the field. They've been great representatives for the University of Oregon and for the Pac-12, and I want to thank them all with all my heart. So thank you.
Questions for Coach or the student athletes, please?
For Gwen and Jenna, how tough is it to end your career this way, and do you think after time you'll reflect back and kind of realize what you guys did accomplish over 4 years?
Start with Gwen, please.
I think we know what we've accomplished, and it hurts right now, but I'm very proud of my career and my 4 years, and I'm very proud to be a Duck. It hurts right now, but I feel like if we had come out and played the way that I know we can, we wouldn't be going home tonight, so that hurts. But I already know that we had a great 4 years, and to hear Coach White say that we left the program better than we found it is the greatest achievement of my 4 years. So, yeah, I'm very proud.
Jenna?
It hurts. It hurts a lot. And just piggybacking off of Gwen, I'm glad we could leave the program better than we found it. I hope we changed the culture of the team, or we made the culture better. Because that's just as important as on the field. But I'm proud of me and myself and my teammates, and committing to Oregon was the best decision I ever made in my life, and I will always be a Duck, no matter what happened today.
Gwen, you were saying yesterday that when you guys were all in the batter's box, you felt like you knew what was coming and you just weren't able to execute on some of the pitches. Was that sort of a similar sentiment tonight?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. We were as prepared as we could have been. We watched a ton of film. We hit rise balls all day today, and we just, didn't get it done to the best of our ability. I think some people had some really great at-bats. I personally had some terrible at-bats, and that sucks, but it is what it is, yeah.
Again, a reminder, please identify yourself and your media outlet prior to your question.
Rob Mosley from GoDucks.com. Shannon, Miranda, what do you hope to take from this to learn from it, so when you get back here, you can build on it?
Start with Shannon, please.
Great question. I think it's just the feeling. The feeling sucks for sure, but the only thing we can do is take that and give that try to pass the knowledge as best as we can to the younger girls and the incoming freshmen, and stress how important it is to have intent and purpose in every single rep that you take, because it really does count at the end.
Miranda?
I mean, I think something we could take is a feeling, but a bigger thing is what our seniors did for us. They led us in a way that no one has led me personally before. They really showed what it was like to love softball and to play with your sorry, they're my best friends. What it was like to love softball and to play with your heart and to leave your heart on the field every day. And I think that's something that we can take from that and pass on, because what they showed and how they played is unlike anybody has ever shown and played in front of me before. And they're inspiring, and it's a huge loss.
Travis Dyke, KMTR in Eugene. Mike, you kind of mentioned this in your opening statement, but you have been here before, but you've also said that you kind of felt like this was the most prepared group you had to go all the way this year. Is it a different feeling this year, right now, sitting where you are?
Well, in some respects, yes, but in some respects, no. I mean, obviously, we didn't do well on the field. Our defense let us down again, and and we didn't have the timely hits in certain times. I mean, you just got to win that second game. That's the bottom line, and we just didn't get it done. And so then there's that negative feeling that you take into the next game. In some respects, it's almost easier to lose the first game, get to play a game in the morning, then come up that night. And that's what we did last year. I've always explained to the team that the hardest game is the one after you lose, and hopefully you don't want to be there, but that's what happens. So we're getting closer. That's what we got to delve into. What can we do to bust through? Because we're watching teams like Washington perform better than what they do during the season, and UCLA's performing better, and teams in our conference that we compete with, they're performing better than us right now, and we got to find out. And I'm pointing the finger right at me right now. It's on me. I've got to find a way to get this team to perform better in the big moment. But I certainly want to, before I go on, I want to thank all you guys, the media, all the support we've had from Eugene, our fans coming down. They've made a huge difference to our program. They're really helping us play, and the support from our athletic department, Lisa Peterson coming down. And I want to thank everybody for the support we're getting, and thank you to you guys.
Jerry Lee Woodley Jr., the College Sports Report. Mike, right here.
Gotcha.
Just talk about the conference overall. You've got 4 teams and 8 to the plate. I know it's been a grinding season, but just talk about the magnitude of what it means to come to this point in time and having 4 teams out of the conference make it this far.
Well, I really think it's tremendous to see it, our conference starting to bounce back and get a good representation. I know, I tell you what, it was a grind each week, and I really didn't think – we only had 3 losses in that conference the whole year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought it would take 5 or 6 losses, So I think that our team performed very well throughout the season, did a great job. Pitching staff did really well. Defense was solid. And I thought it really helped prepare us for this situation, this moment. But – as we talk about, it's hard to replicate being in front of 10,000 people in this kind of atmosphere and this kind of heat and this humidity and the field. Everything's a little bit different than what it is in the Northwest. And I'm not making excuses, but that's what we're talking about. We need to pass that on to our younger players, what it's like. Maybe we need to come here to Oklahoma City and play a game. They have the opportunity to play on this field several times or a few times, right? And so maybe that's something we need to look at.
Jonathan Style with KEZI in Eugene. Mike, you've talked all year about how this is probably one of the closest groups that you've coached ever. What do you think you'll remember most about this specific team, and how have they maybe helped shape the culture of Oregon softball going forward?
I think just the way they relate to me and the ways, I think we're very open, and they gave me a lot of suggestions on what we could do, and I listened to them, and hopefully they listened to me. And we had a tremendous time going to New Zealand, and that was a great experience. going to Puerto Vallarta, that was great. I mean, so we certainly had a lot of fun together, and that's what I want them to remember. And I talked about it as like a funeral is a celebration of life. They need to think about a celebration of a season right here, being Pac-12 champions and being #1 team in the country coming into this tournament. They've got to hold their heads high. They've got to be proud of what we accomplished. Wasn't our week. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe it'll happen soon. I don't know. But if it doesn't, we've enjoyed this season tremendously.
Ryan Thorburn with the Register Guard. Mike, you used all 3 pitchers. You went out to the circle for some pep talks. Pinch hit a couple freshmen. It seems like you were trying everything. What was that like to try and find a spark tonight?
Well, as my team knows, I hate making trips to the mound. I really don't, But yeah, we try to do everything, and also was to give some of our younger players, like kids like Shea Bowden and April Utek and getting Cherish Burks out there and give them the experience of playing out here. We can't practice that, and so just give them those opportunities to get out and experience it. I think, and you never know. You never know. Sometimes somebody comes up. April Utek hit a big home run, and you're always hoping there's going to be that spark. And I tell you what, I had belief until that last swing, and unfortunately, it didn't work.
For Mike and Gwen, to get the coach and player perspective, you mentioned, Mike, that coming off a loss, you brought that negative energy in, or you can have that negative energy. Did it feel flat tonight? Did it feel different when you started the game?
No, it didn't when we started, but I think that as we went on, we weren't getting success. I think they started to press a little bit and get a little tight, that happens, unfortunately. So we really, in those games, you want to get ahead, and so you can loosen up a little bit and give our pitchers some little bit of freedom. But again, hopefully that's a learning experience. Is that when you get to the stage, man, they're all tight games, and you got to expect that.
Quinn?
No, it didn't feel tight at all going in. I thought that we had a good mental approach going into the game, and we were on her early. So I think that helped us in the first couple innings. We were like, we're going to break through here any second now. And then all of a sudden they scored, and then you start to press, and then things sort of just get out of control if you don't answer back and get the offense going. So I think that's all that happened tonight. I think if we had scored early, it would have been a different ball game.
One more question? No need. All right. Congratulations, Coach. Thanks.